Let's just get right to it. Hack racist writer Ta-Nehisi Coates turned Red Skull into Jordan Peterson in the last issue of Captain America. Not a joke, here's the page. 10 rules for life. Damn Coates, who pissed in your chitlins? I saw this last week when the book came out, and I was gonna let it go because I don't give Coates the time of day. He's a shit writer. Technically, he's solidly mediocre, but as a storyteller, the man has virtually no imagination, no depth, and no ability to see beyond himself or his racist politics. He's been on the Captain America book for 2 years. He started off by writing about how white people be evil, how they're being radicalized into racist mobs, and how Captain America is basically one of those evil white men who joined the racist mob of his day. The American military. And that's still the story today, 2 years in. God-tier writing. Cap is either presented as the antagonist or plays second fiddle in his own book. Coates clearly has no love or respect for the character, his legacy, or his fans. He's just using his book to vent his bigoted ideas, and it's resulted in the book hovering in the low 20,000s for most of its run. Basically, it's a dud, just like his run on Black Panther. No one's interested, no one reads it, and the only way he can get any attention for the book is by attacking someone people actually care about, like Jordan Peterson. This issue would have been written a few months ago, around the time that Peterson came back into the public square after his wife's illness and his medical problems. That may be the reason Coates decided to take Peterson's words and the title of his book and have Red Skull parrot them. I kinda remember Coates doing something like this before, but I can't pinpoint where I saw it. But this has been a trend in general among the far left of writing people they don't like as villains in books no one reads. Because it's so common, I was happy to ignore it. Then someone shared it with Peterson and he was like, what the hell? I totally get that reaction, because it really doesn't make any sense. Progressives love to label anyone they don't like as a Nazi, and it's never made less sense than when they applied it to Jordan Peterson. What has he done that remotely makes him like a Nazi? Tell young men to clean their rooms? Really? I'm being silly, I know exactly why they don't like him. Because he gave young white men hope. The progressive movement is all about tearing down men, especially white, straight men. They want men demoralized, self-hating, and frankly suicidal, and Jordan Peterson stands against that. He looked at these young men, saw that they had no purpose, and said, okay, let's deal with that. We've had almost 3 generations of young men and boys with no sense of self, purpose, or desire. They're just drifting. Peterson comes along and says, are you happy with this? Is this how you want to live your life? Just being dragged along until maybe you bump into something that works? And guys are like, no. So he says, well, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I don't know. Okay, well, we'll find something for you to do. I don't know what to do. Everything is beyond me. I'm not good at anything. Okay then, well, you know what? Clean your room. What? Clean your room. There's something you can do. I don't understand. Clean your room. There's a goal. Every week, you're going to clean your room. And then you're going to find something else to do. Mow the lawn, paint the staircase, build that computer you wanted. Find the heaviest thing you can, pick it up, and carry it. And for the sin of giving rudderless young men a rudder and some basic guidance, progressives label Jordan Peterson an alt-right Nazi and a gateway to extremism, because nothing says extremism like cleaning your room. Now, when you put that kind of nonsense in front of actual racists like Ta-Nehisi Coates, it just triggers them. And for those who are asking how Coates is racist, go and read the man's work. Go and read his comments about 9/11, go and read his comments about cops and white supremacy. I'm from Chicago. I know a bigot when I see one. That man is a bigot. Ain't nobody hates white people like Coates. So of course he'd write the person that young men look up to as an extremist. Why didn't he just create a new villain? Don't know. Maybe he's not talented enough for that. Instead he has the Red Skull spouting Jordan Peterson talking points and using the parody title of the man's book. The whole scene is ridiculous. In a previous issue there was a riot and an explosion, and some cop's brother was a part of the group. Apparently, he disappeared into the internet, and when he came back, he couldn't stop talking about his new theory of the world. And that theory came from one man, Kermit the Frog. Just imagine being simultaneously retarded enough to think this is true, and blinded enough not to realize this is literally what happens on college campuses to thousands of kids who now call themselves progressive. He's projecting and he doesn't even see it. Now, when I say Coates treats Cap like garbage, I wasn't joking. Cap says about himself, quote, "It's the same for all of them. Young men, weak, looking for purpose. I found the flag. You found the badge. They found the skull. And Coates found critical race theory, which is so indoctrinated in him that he can't see the irony of his own words. Quote, he tells them what they've always longed to hear, that they were secretly great, that the whole world is against them, that if they're truly men, they'll fight back, that we was Kangs. Black Lives Matter, Wakanda forever, because that's exactly what this sounds like. It's the same garbage that comes out of the progressive movement. The projection is so intense you can see it from orbit. This is going completely over Coates' head. He doesn't realize everything he writes makes him and his side sound like the bigots he pretends are lurking around every corner, waiting to jump out in 40 below in MAGA hats and hang a noose around his neck. But setting all that aside, look at his point. Giving someone purpose and telling them that they have worth is a bad thing. That's Coates' point. It's bad to encourage young men to better themselves and to seek internal value instead of external recognition, which is all that Peterson says. His entire message is, who do you want to be? He's trying to get them to see value in themselves so that they can find a purpose and feel fulfilled in their lives. And for this end, Coates put Peterson's words into a Nazi's mouth. And of course, the NPCs on social media are like, well, if your words are so similar to a Nazi, you should think about what that says about you. You do realize the Red Skull isn't real, right? He's not a real man. He's a fictional character. He didn't say those things. This isn't like someone finding a feminist text, literally any feminist text, and replacing every mention of women and men with Germans and Jews respectively and it sounding identical to Nazi propaganda. This isn't going back to comics from the 40s and seeing the Red Skull spout the same things Peterson does. It's not Peterson incidentally sounding like a Nazi. It's Ta-Nehisi Coates literally taking the words of the man he doesn't like and putting them into the mouth of a Nazi supervillain to take a shot at that man. Peterson said it best. Do I really live in a universe where Ta-Nehisi Coates has written a Captain America comic featuring a parody of my ideas as part of the philosophy of the arch-villain Red Skull? Yes! And when you say it out loud, it sounds goddamn ridiculous. Imagine the hate you have to write something like that, and then realize how many dickless bitches running Marvel agreed to publish this nonsense without a second thought. For the people wondering why I still make videos about this stuff, it's because people like Coates constantly do this shit, and then get rewarded with more work for doing it. What do I mean? Warner Bros. Just hired this racist to write the next Superman movie. Here he is spitting all over Captain America, and now he gets to shit on the best known superhero ever. Welcome to the desert of the woke, where no one, literally no one buys any comics you write, but you're deemed one of the most talented writers in comics today, and then your racist ass is allowed to write Superman, basically guaranteeing no actual Superman fan will come within 100 leagues of that shit show. But what do I know? I'm just some guy.